Welcome to Book Summaries. Dear friend, have you ever felt that your emotions often dictate your decisions and actions? In today's video, we will explore a powerful secret that can help you take control of your emotions and turn them into a strength. Let's dive into how you can actively manage your emotions, maintain calm in any situation, and leverage this power to transform your life. Imagine how much easier life would be if you could stay calm during stressful situations. Picture yourself in high-pressure scenarios where, instead of reacting emotionally, you remain composed and respond rationally. This book will teach you how to become emotionally intelligent, how to regulate your reactions, and how to stay grounded in any circumstance. Have you ever said or done something in anger or frustration that you later regretted? We've all been there. When emotions take over, we can act impulsively, and that's not always beneficial. But can this be changed? Imagine being able to control your reactions rather than responding unconsciously. With the help of this book, you can achieve that valuable skill. We'll start by understanding the importance of emotional control. Emotions are a natural and important part of being human, but when they take charge, they can lead us astray. This book will help you recognize the triggers of emotional responses and provide you with strategies to manage them effectively. By controlling your reactions, you'll be able to handle challenges with calmness and make decisions that truly reflect your intentions. Here, we'll delve into a systematic approach to using non-reaction as a tool to regulate emotions, offering a fresh perspective on this topic. Are you ready to embark on this life-changing journey? Please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button and liking the video. Thank you for inspiring us to create more content for you. Chapter 1. Understanding Emotional Triggers. Have you ever wondered why certain situations or words immediately make you feel angry, sad, or anxious? You're not alone in this. These sudden emotional reactions often stem from what are known as emotional triggers. Understanding these triggers is the first step in gaining control over your reactions. Emotional triggers can be events, conversations, or even specific people who evoke strong, and sometimes overwhelming, emotions in you. These triggers are often highly personal and are connected to past experiences or deeply held beliefs about yourself and the world around you. For example, if you were bullied in school, a casual comment from a colleague might make you feel insecure or afraid. Or, if you grew up feeling neglected, being ignored in a conversation might trigger feelings of anger or resentment. However, it's important to remember that these emotions don't necessarily reflect the present situation or reality. They're more like echoes from the past. Recognizing this can help you feel freer, as you understand that you're not reacting to the current situation but to a memory or fear. Understanding emotional triggers isn't about blaming others but about gaining deeper insight into yourself. Once you become aware of what makes you react strongly, you can begin to control your responses. You can choose how to respond instead of letting your emotions take over. It's crucial to understand your default reactions, as they often happen automatically and can cloud your ability to respond calmly. These reactions have become ingrained in your behavior over time, becoming your go-to response under stress or confrontation. These split-second decisions are often made without much thought and are driven by emotion. It's important to recognize that these default reactions aren't necessarily good or bad, they're just learned responses that can be changed. However, to change them, you first need to identify them. Do you tend to get angry easily? Do you retreat into silence? Perhaps you become overly agreeable or immediately blame others. The first step is to recognize your automatic reactions. To identify your default response, take a moment to reflect on past situations where your emotions ran high. What was your immediate reaction? Did you raise your voice, withdraw, or start to cry? Remember, there's no right or wrong answer here. The goal is to understand yourself better. It's important not to judge yourself during this process. You're not a bad person for reacting this way. These responses may have helped you in some way, perhaps by protecting yourself. But by identifying them, you open the door to better control your emotional responses in the future. This is a crucial step that happens within you. Chapter 2: Recognizing Physiological Responses. As you delve deeper into your emotional reactions, you'll start to notice the physical signs that accompany them, helping you gain a better understanding of this automatic process. These physiological responses can include an increased heart rate, shortness of breath, or even a sense of unease in your stomach. It's important to understand that these physical reactions are not random. They are your body's way of signaling that something is stirring within your soul. Recognizing these bodily signs is like learning a new language, the language of self-awareness. It's not easy, but it's well worth the effort. At first, you may find it difficult to distinguish between the physiological responses to different emotions. Don't get discouraged, it's a process. Encourage yourself to be patient and curious, as understanding your body's reactions will equip you with the necessary knowledge to better manage your responses. This phase of recognition is not about judgment but observation. As you become more familiar with your body's reactions, you will develop a deeper awareness, which can be both enlightening and empowering. You will begin to realize that a racing heart is not just linked to fear, it could also be excitement. Similarly, an uneasy stomach may not just signal anxiety, it could also indicate anticipation. Chapter 3: Creating a Pause Button. Creating a mental pause button can be a powerful tool in helping you control your emotional responses. This pause button is not a physical object but rather a mental concept that you can create, adjust, and use at will. It allows you to insert a brief pause in the stream of thoughts or emotions that could lead to hasty, unconsidered reactions. Imagine this pause button as a stop sign that appears in your mind when you start feeling overwhelmed or reactive. It signals your brain to take a moment, step back, and reassess the situation. While the concept may seem simple, executing it is not easy. Don't get discouraged if you find it difficult to pause when emotions flare up. This is a skill that requires time and practice to master. When you first start using the pause button, you might only realize it after you've already reacted. That's okay. The important thing is that you're becoming more aware of your emotional responses and starting to question them. Over time, you will get better at pressing the pause button before you react. Breathing techniques can also help calm your mind and body, especially when you're about to have an emotional reaction. This isn't magic, it's science. Your breath is closely linked to your nervous system, and by regulating it, you can alter your emotional state. Try using a popular breathing technique called the 4-7-8 method. This technique involves inhaling for 4 seconds, holding your breath for 7 seconds, and exhaling for 8 seconds. This way, you introduce more oxygen into your body and stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps create a state of calm. When you're in a heightened emotional state, your body shifts into fight or flight mode, causing your breathing to become shallow and rapid, which clouds your judgment. By consciously altering your breathing pattern, you can reverse these physical responses, allowing you to think more clearly and react thoughtfully rather than impulsively. The more you practice these breathing techniques, the more natural they will become, and over time, you'll find yourself using them instinctively whenever you're faced with a challenging situation. So, the next time you feel a surge of anger or hurt, pause, breathe, and regain control. It's a small but crucial step in mastering your emotions. These breathing techniques give you an additional layer of control over your feelings, and that's the power of not reacting unconsciously. Chapter 4. Mindfulness in Everyday Life. Incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine can profoundly transform how you handle life's ups and downs, becoming a crucial tool for emotional regulation. Mindfulness is not just about meditation or practicing yoga. It's about being present in every moment, observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Imagine a conversation. Are you truly listening to the other person, or just waiting for your turn to speak? By fully focusing on what the other person is saying, you are practicing mindfulness. Instead of reacting hastily, you respond thoughtfully, and this simple act can improve relationships and significantly reduce stress. The same applies to eating. Rather than eating mindlessly, try savoring each bite, paying attention to the texture, flavor, and aroma. This not only enhances the dining experience but also promotes better digestion and prevents overeating. Mindfulness can also be practiced in everyday activities like washing dishes, brushing your teeth, or even walking. Instead of letting your mind wander, focus on the sensation of water on your hands, the bristles on your gums, or the ground beneath your feet. This can bring a sense of peace and calm, making you less reactive to external influences. Chapter 5. Developing self-awareness. Building on the practice of mindfulness, developing self-awareness becomes an essential part of managing your reactions and creating a more balanced life. Self-awareness involves becoming an observer of yourself, monitoring your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This isn't about judgment or criticism, but rather a gentle and compassionate acknowledgement of who you are. As you practice self-awareness, you begin to notice patterns in your behavior. Perhaps you tend to react more strongly when you're tired or feel more anxious when you're hungry. These insights serve as windows into understanding your actions, providing opportunities to recognize emotional triggers and develop more balanced responses. This isn't about suppressing your emotions, it's about learning to regulate them more effectively. Developing self-awareness also means acknowledging both your strengths and weaknesses. It requires honesty and courage to face your limitations. However, it is through this acknowledgement that you can begin to change, grow, and cultivate a more balanced and fulfilling life. Self-awareness is a skill, and like any other skill, it requires practice. This journey of self-discovery can be challenging but is immensely rewarding. Sometimes, having an objective and empathetic listener, like a counselor or a coach, can provide valuable insights and guidance through the emotional landscape. Naming and accepting your emotions becomes a crucial step in managing your reactions. This process is not just about identifying your emotions but also about accepting them, even the uncomfortable ones. It allows you to understand your emotional patterns and the triggers behind them, leading to better control over your responses. The first step is to identify your emotions as they arise. Are you feeling angry, sad, disappointed, or anxious? Don't avoid these feelings. Instead, name them, speak them out, or write them down. This action creates a psychological distance between you and the emotion, allowing you to observe it rather than be overwhelmed by it. Accepting your emotions is the next step after naming them. However, acceptance does not mean giving in or resigning. Instead, it's about recognizing that these emotions are a part of you, with their own purpose, serving as signals about your environment, situations, or internal states. Acknowledging that your emotions, even the negative ones, have valid reasons will help you accept them more easily. Remember, accepting your emotions doesn't mean you must act on them. You have the right to feel angry without lashing out or to feel sad without sinking into despair. This acceptance brings clarity, helping you understand these emotions and reducing their influence on your reactions. Chapter 6. Changing Perspectives, Reframing Negative Thoughts. Once you've mastered naming and accepting your emotions, it's time to learn another crucial skill: changing the way you view negative thoughts. This mental exercise involves choosing a positive or neutral interpretation instead of a negative one. It's about transforming your perspective to see situations from a different, more empowering angle. Imagine you're stuck in traffic and about to be late for a meeting. Frustration builds, and you think, "This always happens to me. Why am I so unlucky?" This is a negative thought that can lead to increased stress and anxiety. However, if you change your perspective, you might think, "This traffic gives me some time to relax and listen to my favorite podcast before the meeting." Changing your perspective doesn't mean denying reality or avoiding negative aspects. It's about broadening your viewpoint, acknowledging the existence of different perspectives, and choosing the one that best serves you. Negativity can limit your potential and steal joy from your life. By changing your perspective, you're not only altering your thoughts but also transforming your emotional response to situations. The world is often not as it appears but rather how you interpret it. Shifting your perspective offers a way to reinterpret situations in a more positive or neutral light, which can bring significant relief. It's about controlling what you can, your thoughts and emotions, and letting go of what you can't control. This is the true power of non-reactivity, a skill that can profoundly enhance your emotional stability. Chapter 7: Practicing Empathy and Compassion. Once you've mastered the art of changing negative thoughts, controlling your emotions becomes easier. However, practicing empathy and compassion will further enhance this ability, enabling you to understand and respond to the emotions of others. These two virtues are key to developing emotional intelligence, helping you connect more deeply with those around you. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, is not an innate skill but one that can be cultivated like a muscle. Start by actively listening when someone shares their feelings. Don't just hear their words, but also sense the emotions behind them. Acknowledge those emotions, even if you don't feel the same way in that situation. Remember, it's not about you, it's about them. Compassion goes a step further. It's not just about understanding someone's pain but also desiring to alleviate it. To nurture compassion, try putting yourself in another person's shoes, imagining their feelings, joys, sorrows, and frustrations. However, keep in mind that practicing empathy and compassion doesn't mean you have to take responsibility for fixing someone else's emotions. Your role is to understand, validate, and share in their emotional experience. This practice helps you respond rather than react in emotional situations, providing you with better control over your emotions and interactions. Chapter 8: Taking Responsibility for Your Reactions. On the journey of developing emotional intelligence, taking responsibility for your reactions is a crucial step. This practice not only helps you manage your emotions but also affects how you express them. Recognizing that you are in control of your reactions, not the situation or the person who triggered them, is key to achieving emotional stability. This is an essential step, but also a journey worth pursuing. Consider how you typically react in various situations. Do those reactions truly serve your best interests? Often, we react impulsively, driven by instinct or habit, without considering whether our response is beneficial or harmful. You can change this by realizing that your reactions are your responsibility. From this awareness, you can choose responses that align with your values and goals. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, but rather understanding, processing, and then deciding the best way to express them. Learning to pause before reacting creates a space where you can make a choice. This helps you respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. You can choose understanding over judgment and patience over frustration. Taking responsibility for your reactions also involves accepting the consequences of your actions. If your reaction has caused harm, it's important to make amends and apologize. This not only helps heal relationships but also strengthens your commitment to self-improvement. Chapter 9. Building emotional resilience. Building emotional resilience is like creating armor to protect yourself from life's challenges. It requires a deep understanding of your emotions and a commitment to confront them rather than avoiding them. Emotional resilience acts as a strong mental immune system that helps you withstand stress, difficulties, and adversity. Recovering from emotional shocks is crucial for maintaining mental health and overall happiness. Firstly, recognize that emotional resilience is not about avoiding or suppressing emotions. Instead, it's about acknowledging and understanding their origins and learning to manage them effectively. You can't control the waves, but you can learn to ride them. Secondly, emotional resilience involves flexibility and adaptability. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and that's okay. What matters is how you respond to unexpected changes. You can adapt, adjust, and find ways to grow even when things don't go as hoped. Finally, building emotional resilience requires nurturing a positive mindset. This doesn't mean you have to be cheerful all the time, but it means maintaining hope and optimism even in the face of adversity. It's about focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. Chapter 10. Learning to forgive quickly. Another key strategy for enhancing resilience and emotional recovery is learning to forgive quickly. While this can often be challenging, it is profoundly liberating. Forgiveness is not about overlooking mistakes or pretending you haven't been hurt. Rather, it is about freeing yourself from the heavy burden of resentment and anger. Holding on to grudges doesn't punish others, it punishes yourself. Your mind becomes a battleground of negative emotions, draining your energy and focus. Choosing to forgive allows you to regain control. You forgive not for their benefit but for your own peace of mind. To master forgiveness, start by acknowledging the hurt. It's okay to feel wounded. This is a natural reaction, but don't let these feelings linger. Reflect on the situation objectively, without letting emotions cloud your judgment. Ask yourself if holding on to resentment benefits you in any way, and then decide to let it go. This is not easy and won't happen overnight. It's a process. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes, including you. Understanding this can make forgiveness less about making concessions and more about giving yourself a gift of kindness. Finally, practice empathy by trying to see things from their perspective. This doesn't mean justifying their actions, but rather understanding them. This shift in perspective can be a powerful catalyst for forgiveness. Chapter 11. Letting go of ego and pride. Letting go of ego and pride can profoundly transform your emotions, making you more open, empathetic, and resilient. Ego and pride often act as armor, protecting you from threats and harm. However, they can also become barriers, preventing you from acknowledging your mistakes and hindering your ability to connect deeply with others. Letting go of ego and pride doesn't mean abandoning your self-worth or potential. Rather, it's about creating a more balanced perspective of yourself in relation to others. This includes recognizing that you're not always right, that you're not perfect, and that you can make mistakes or be vulnerable. After all, you are only human. Start by increasing your self-awareness. Pay attention to when your ego or pride is influencing your reactions. Are you protecting yourself unnecessarily? Are you rejecting feedback or criticism? Are you always trying to argue your point to the end? These are clear signs that ego and pride are driving you. Next, cultivate humility. Humility is not weakness or submission, but an acknowledgement of your place within the whole. You are important, but so are others. Your opinions matter, but so do those of others. Finally, practice empathy. Try to put yourself in others' shoes and understand their perspectives. This will help you be less defensive and more open to different viewpoints. Letting go of ego and pride is a continuous journey, not a one-time event. It requires patience, humility, and, most importantly, a willingness to change. The rewards are better relationships, improved self-control, and valuable emotional growth. Chapter 12. Cultivating Daily Gratitude. On the journey toward emotional serenity, cultivating daily gratitude becomes an invaluable tool that can enhance your perspective on life. Gratitude is not just about saying, "thank you," more often, but truly feeling appreciation for both the grand and the small things in life. This appreciation can act as a shield against negative emotions and reactions, helping you better manage your emotional responses. Having gratitude doesn't mean ignoring the negative aspects of life, but finding a balance and recognizing that even difficult experiences can offer valuable lessons. When facing challenges, try to find something to be grateful for amid the chaos. This shift in perspective can help you approach challenges with a more positive mindset, reducing the likelihood of automatic emotional reactions. To nurture gratitude, make it a daily habit. You might keep a gratitude journal where you write down a few things each day that you are thankful for. Over time, you'll find that this practice helps you naturally notice the positive aspects of life. You are not just writing words but reprogramming your brain to focus on the good rather than dwelling on the bad. Chapter 13. Enhancing Communication Skills. Mastering the art of communication can significantly improve your ability to maintain emotional balance and build healthy relationships. This skill is not innate but something you can cultivate and refine over time. It requires a level of self-awareness, empathy, and patience. First, the foundation of effective communication lies in active listening. This means not just hearing what others are saying, but truly understanding their message rather than merely waiting for your turn to speak. Active listening shows respect and acknowledgement, paving the way for open and sincere dialogue. Second, you should strive to express your feelings and ideas clearly and assertively, but not aggressively. This distinction is crucial. Assertiveness involves standing up for your own rights without infringing on the rights of others, while aggression dismisses the emotions and needs of others. Your words carry weight, so choose them wisely. Moreover, nonverbal communication can be just as important, if not more so, than what you say. Your body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice all convey signals about your emotional state. Ensure that these signals align with your spoken words. Finally, remember that communication is not a one-time event but an ongoing process that requires regular practice. Be open to feedback and don't be afraid to admit when you're wrong. This demonstrates maturity and a willingness to grow, which helps strengthen your relationships and better manage your emotions. Improving communication skills is a journey, not a destination. The more you practice, the better you will become, and you will receive rewards that are worth the effort over time. Chapter 14. Handling Conflict Effectively. When conflicts arise, which are inevitable, your ability to handle the situation effectively can greatly impact the outcome. Handling conflict isn't about winning or losing but transforming a potentially tense situation into a more manageable one. The first step is to stay calm. This may sound easier said than done, but your calmness can influence the emotions of others. Remember, emotions are contagious. If you remain composed, you subtly encourage the other person to stay calm as well. Next, listen attentively. In conflicts, it's easy to get caught up in your own thoughts, but try to focus on what the other person is saying. Show empathy, not judgment. By doing this, you acknowledge their feelings and demonstrate that you're willing to understand their perspective. This can help de-escalate the situation. Then, use non-confrontational language. Avoid words like always or never, as they can escalate tension. Instead, use phrases that start with I to express your feelings without blaming others. For example, say, I feel upset when, rather than, you always. Finally, propose solutions. If the other party sees that you're committed to resolving the conflict rather than prolonging it, they are more likely to cooperate. However, it's important to remember that the goal of conflict resolution is not necessarily to resolve the issue immediately but to prevent it from escalating. Mastering conflict resolution techniques is an essential part of emotional control. Remember, this doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, but managing them effectively to foster healthier interactions. Chapter 15. Establishing healthy boundaries. In the complexities of life, setting healthy boundaries is crucial for protecting your emotional, physical, and mental well-being. Establishing boundaries is not about building walls or pushing others away. Rather, it's about creating a space where you feel safe, respected, and understood. Imagine boundaries as invisible lines you draw around yourself. These lines define your personal space and dictate how you allow others to treat you. They establish your values, expectations, and limits. When effectively set, these boundaries can strengthen your self-esteem, freedom, and individuality. To develop these boundaries, start by understanding yourself. You need to be aware of your feelings, needs, and values. This involves recognizing what you can tolerate and accept, as well as what makes you uncomfortable or stressed. Once you've identified these aspects, communicate assertively, clearly, yet empathetically. Remember, saying no is perfectly normal. Respecting others' boundaries is equally important. Understanding and accepting that others have their own limits fosters mutual respect and empathy. This is a two-way street. Setting boundaries can be challenging, especially if you're not accustomed to it. You might fear rejection or conflict, but keep in mind that establishing boundaries is a sign of self-respect. It means prioritizing your well-being over pleasing others. Chapter 16. Managing stress and anxiety. While setting healthy boundaries is an important step in self-care, learning to manage stress and anxiety is also crucial for maintaining overall well-being. Stress and anxiety can become overwhelming, and if not managed effectively, they can lead to physical and mental health issues. One effective way to manage stress and anxiety is through practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness allows you to stay present in the moment rather than worrying about the past or future. It involves acknowledging your emotions without judgment and accepting them calmly, rather than reacting impulsively. Healthy lifestyle choices can also significantly reduce stress and anxiety levels. Regular physical activity helps release endorphins, the body's natural mood enhancers. A balanced diet provides energy for both your body and mind, while adequate sleep helps your body and mind rest and function optimally. Thinking patterns also play an important role. Often, it's not the circumstances themselves that cause stress and anxiety, but how you perceive them. By shifting from negative to positive thinking, you can significantly reduce these feelings. Instead of viewing difficult situations as problems, see them as opportunities for growth. Finally, don't hesitate to seek professional help if stress and anxiety become overwhelming. Therapists and counselors can offer support and teach coping strategies. Remember, asking for help is not a sign of weakness but a sign of strength. Managing stress and anxiety is a journey, not a destination. It involves continuous learning and adapting, and with these strategies, you're moving closer to a healthier and happier version of yourself. Chapter 17. Developing patience and tolerance. Developing patience and tolerance is crucial for your mental well-being, just as managing stress and anxiety are. These qualities involve not suppressing emotions but understanding and choosing not to let them control you. It's important to recognize that you cannot control everything around you, but you can control how you react to them. To develop patience, you need to understand that everything takes time. You cannot rush personal growth, healing, or change. Patience is not just about waiting but also about understanding and accepting the time required for things to unfold. Tolerance helps you accept that not everything will go as you wish, and that is normal. It involves accepting the discomfort of the unknown without reacting impulsively. To cultivate these qualities, start by acknowledging your emotions. When you feel impatient or intolerant, don't ignore or push them away. Instead, recognize and analyze them. What is causing these emotions? Why are you reacting this way? This awareness is the first step toward developing patience and tolerance. Next, practice mindfulness. When you are fully present in the moment, not thinking about the past or worrying about the future, you will find it easier to be patient and tolerant. Mindfulness helps you realize that your emotions are temporary and that impulsive reactions will not be beneficial in the long run. Chapter 18. Practicing self-compassion regularly. In managing emotions, regularly practicing self-compassion is crucial. You need to understand that self-compassion is not only about being kind to yourself but also an essential factor for emotional and mental stability. Embracing self-compassion is like opening the door to a healthier mental state. Consistently practicing it can fundamentally change the way you perceive and confront life's challenges. It involves understanding your emotions, acknowledging your pain, and responding to it with kindness and care. It means loving yourself despite your imperfections. As you delve deeper into self-compassion, you'll realize it's not just about being kind to yourself. It's also about recognizing that suffering and imperfection are part of the shared human experience. You're not alone in your struggles, and imperfections are normal. When faced with difficulties, rather than criticizing yourself, offer yourself comfort and understanding as you would to a close friend. Practicing self-compassion isn't about ignoring emotions or suppressing pain but about allowing yourself to feel those emotions and creating a safe space for them. By practicing self-compassion regularly, you're not only being kind to yourself but also building resilience to overcome life's greatest challenges. It's not just an abstract concept but a powerful tool to better manage your emotions and reactions. When you have self-compassion, you acknowledge that it's okay not to be perfect. You allow yourself to make mistakes without the fear of harsh judgment, which can significantly reduce stress and enhance your overall well-being. Self-compassion also helps you better understand your emotions, recognize them without letting them control you, increase your emotional intelligence, and differentiate what you're feeling without immediate reaction. Moreover, it fosters a healthy relationship with yourself. Remember, the relationship you have with yourself affects all other relationships in your life. In summary, practicing self-compassion not only helps you maintain emotional balance but also enhances your ability to cope with life's ups and downs. It is a powerful tool that, when used regularly, can bring numerous benefits to your emotional mastery journey. To cultivate self-compassion, actively integrate these habits into your daily life. Start by dedicating a few minutes each day to reflect on your thoughts and feelings, recognizing your imperfections and mistakes as an inherent part of being human. It's okay to stumble. What's important is that you can get back up. Next, practice kindness toward yourself. Speak to yourself as you would to a close friend. Instead of harsh self-criticism, replace it with understanding and encouragement. Remember that feeling pain or discomfort is normal and doesn't define your worth or ability. Finally, maintain a balanced perspective. Avoid exaggerating problems or dismissing your emotions. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment and let them pass naturally. Nurturing self-compassion is not about ignoring your difficulties but providing yourself with the understanding and patience you need to overcome them. Practicing self-compassion regularly, like developing any skill, requires time and persistence, but the rewards are substantial. Be patient with yourself, and over time, you will notice significant changes in your emotional resilience and overall well-being. Chapter 19. Overcoming emotional trauma from the past. You may be carrying emotional burdens from the past, and it is crucial to confront them in order to truly harness the power of non-reactivity. This does not mean allowing past traumas to overwhelm you, but rather understanding them, controlling your emotional responses to them, and ultimately healing. Addressing past emotional traumas may seem like a daunting task, but it is a necessary step in the journey of healing and self-discovery. It's not about digging up old wounds just for the sake of it, but about understanding their impact on your emotional reactions. You are not defined by your past, but your past can influence you. Recognizing this is key to managing your emotional burdens. Start by acknowledging that your feelings are valid and that it's normal to feel the way you do. Your emotions are real and important. Next, identify the sources of those feelings, whether they stem from an old relationship, family issues, or a traumatic event. Discovering the root cause is a crucial part of the process. As you master the power of emotional control, you can move beyond the shadows of past trauma and turn them into stepping stones toward becoming a stronger, healthier version of yourself. This is not a quick process. It requires patience, self-awareness, and a steadfast commitment to healing. The first step is to acknowledge your past traumas. Don't push them away or bury them. Face them, understand the pain they have caused, and accept that they have shaped you. Next, work on changing your mindset. It's easy for past suffering to define you, but remember, you are more than that suffering. Practice emotional regulation, which means not reacting immediately to emotional triggers. Instead, take a step back, breathe, and analyze your emotions before responding. This pause allows you to choose your response rather than letting emotions control you. Healing through emotional regulation is a journey, not a destination. It's about growth, change, and becoming the best version of yourself. Remember, you are not alone in this process. You have the power to control your emotions and heal from the past. Chapter 20. Embracing imperfection and mistakes. You are not alone in accepting personal flaws and overcoming the fear of failure. This is a shared human experience, marked by the courage to confront our imperfections and mistakes. Rather than reacting impulsively or defensively, embracing these aspects of ourselves allows us to grow, learn, and move forward with resilience and grace. Recognizing and accepting personal flaws is not only a crucial step in self-improvement but also a powerful way to build endurance when facing life's challenges. We all have imperfections, and that is normal. You are not alone in this journey of self-discovery and acceptance. This is a universal human experience. These flaws do not define you, but how you handle them can. By accepting your flaws, you acknowledge that you are in the process of becoming your best self, and that is perfectly okay. You allow yourself to be human, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. This sense of freedom fosters personal growth, resilience, and emotional stability. However, acceptance does not mean complacency. It is not an excuse to stop pursuing improvement. It is about understanding your weaknesses without judgment or self-criticism and using this awareness to navigate your life more effectively. Let's face it, no one is perfect, and everyone fails at some point. However, it's how you recover from those failures that truly defines your strength and character. Overcoming the fear of failure begins with acknowledging that stumbling is normal, it's a fundamental part of learning and growing. Your fear of failure may stem from a deep-seated desire for perfection, but remember that imperfection does not equate to incompetence, it's simply a sign that you are human. Instead of fearing mistakes, view them as stepping stones for self-improvement. This shift in mindset can alleviate fear and allow you to approach tasks with renewed resilience. When faced with failure, don't wallow in self-pity or let regret take over. Reflect on what happened, learn from it, and then let it go. You are not defined by your failures but by how you respond to them. Embracing your imperfections and mistakes is not a sign of weakness, but proof of courage to step outside your comfort zone. By overcoming the fear of failure, you are moving closer to mastering the power of non-reactivity and learning to control your emotions, paving the way for a calmer and more balanced life. Chapter 21. Developing a growth mindset. In the journey towards mastering the power of non-reactivity, developing a growth mindset is a crucial step. It involves understanding this mindset, nurturing emotional resilience, and practicing it. Let's explore how it can change the way you react and interact. While it may seem challenging at first, embracing a growth mindset can significantly enhance your personal and professional development, fostering resilience and a positive outlook on learning and growth. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities can be developed through dedication, hard work, and even failure. This concept shifts your focus from outcomes to the journey, from scores to the learning process, and from perfection to progress. A growth mindset helps you view challenges as opportunities rather than threats. It's not about avoiding difficulties but seeing them as stepping stones to improvement. It's about being open to feedback and criticism, not as a denial of your worth, but as valuable information for your growth. Understanding a growth mindset also means recognizing that effort is key to success. It's not just about talent or intelligence, but about the determination to persist despite difficulties. Working hard during tough times is part of the journey to mastery. Embracing this mindset allows you to start developing better emotional control, building emotional resilience, and applying a growth mindset to face life's challenges gracefully and adaptively. Resilience is not about ignoring your emotions or pretending everything is okay. It's about acknowledging your feelings, understanding them, and letting them pass without allowing them to control you. Developing resilience starts with self-awareness. By recognizing and accepting your emotional responses, you take the first step towards managing them. Feelings of sadness, anger, or anxiety are normal. They are part of being human. Next, practice self-compassion. Understand that making mistakes and having bad days is normal. These experiences don't define you. They are merely stepping stones on your journey of personal growth and self-improvement. Finally, maintain a positive outlook even when facing difficulties. Strive to find the silver lining in challenges, and remember that challenges are opportunities for growth, helping you become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. To truly harness the power of a growth mindset, you need to apply it in your daily life. View challenges as opportunities to improve yourself and learn. Recognize that difficulties are not failures, but lessons. Every time you stumble, you have a chance to grow, understand more about yourself and the world around you. Nurture your curiosity, be open to new experiences, and welcome different perspectives. When you approach situations with a curious mind, you will more easily see opportunities rather than obstacles. Remember that your intelligence and abilities are not fixed, they can grow. You are not stuck where you are. With effort, perseverance, and a positive attitude, you can learn and improve. Don't be afraid to receive constructive feedback. It's not a personal attack, but a tool for growth. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it to propel yourself forward. Applying a growth mindset requires continuous practice and patience, but the rewards are well worth it. You will be able to manage your emotions better, become more resilient, and open the door to self-improvement and personal success. The power of not reacting lies within you, and it's time to harness it. Chapter 22: Maintaining Emotional Balance. Mastering your emotions helps you create a stable emotional equilibrium, which is not only beneficial for your mental health but also crucial for avoiding impulsive reactions. This balance allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively to life's challenges, like being the calm center in a storm, unaffected by the chaos around you. To achieve this balance, you first need to understand the factors that trigger your emotions, the situations or people that cause you stress. Once you identify these triggers, you can work on strategies to manage them, which may include distancing yourself from specific environments or engaging in deeper psychological work. Next, practice mindfulness by focusing on the present and avoiding dwelling on past regrets or worrying about the future, as these can easily disrupt your emotional balance. Remember, you cannot control everything around you, but you can control your response to it. Taking care of yourself is also important. Maintaining a healthy diet, getting adequate sleep, and exercising regularly can stabilize your mood and enhance emotional resilience. Keep in mind that your physical health has a significant impact on your emotional state. Finally, don't suppress your emotions. Allow yourself to feel and express them in healthy ways. Bottling up emotions can lead to an emotional outburst later on. Managing your emotions is about control, not suppression. Maintaining emotional balance is not about avoiding feelings but managing them. This is a journey, not a destination, and with practice and patience, you can master this skill and harness the power of not reacting impulsively. It's important to understand the triggers for your emotions and learn to pause before reacting. Like a knight in shining armor, equip yourself with deep breathing techniques, a growth mindset, and an awareness of your own flaws. Remember, you are in charge of your emotions, not the other way around. So, actively cultivate gratitude and move forward into a future where your emotional balance is paramount. Thank you for listening. Book summary. Wishing you success.